Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
The Edmonton Oil Kings won't have much time to dwell on their opening night loss at the Memorial Cup as the WHL champs face the host team tonight at the Memmer. They host the St. John Sea Dogs. Sea Dogs opened on Monday, beating Hamilton 5-3. The Oil Kings just last night, in a wild back-and-forth game, lost to the Shawinigan Cataract out of the Q 4-3. All I want to say is this. I watched some of that game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought, wow, TSN is doing an amazing job of these broadcasts. Dare I say, better than Sportsnet? There's a reason they call him Canada's sports leader. I just enjoyed all of it. They do a great job. But stop with the WHL reps haven't won at the Memorial Cup since 2016. Because I went and looked it up. I'm like, this doesn't sound right. Stick with me. They're saying no Western Hockey League representative has won a Memorial Cup round-robin game since 2016. Stop. In 2018, God's team, the Regina Pats, won 2 games in the Memorial Cup. Well, Rod, they were the host team. I don't care.
How about that?
They're a WHL team. So stop. And God bless our viewers who pointed out that no WHL rep has won since 2016. I don't care. The Pats team won 2 in 2018 and went to the final and lost 3-0 to the Acadie Bathurst Tetons.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Maurice, the longtime coach of the Winnipeg Jets, is finalizing a 3-year deal to be the head coach of the NHL's Florida Panthers. And I feel like we could spend 2 hours on that. And that kind of came out of nowhere. It leaves Barry Trotz going to the Winnipeg Jets, obviously. And that's another topic for another time. But I talked to Panthers fans this morning, those that know, and they say this thing looks like a really good hire for the Florida Panthers.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show that seems to be very popular in the United States of America. Welcome, everybody. We're broadcasting live from the Stage Bar at Great Eagle Resort and Casino on the beautiful Saskatchewan Nation. And it's going to be a very big day. We have Charlie Wright joining us in hour 1. He of the Saskatoon Blades and one of the top prospects coming up for the NHL draft this summer in Montreal. And we've got veteran CFL kicker Matt Kellett coming by in hour 2 as we get ready to kick off week 3 in the CFL. And we welcome in the co-host, the president of the whole shooting match, Darren Moose Dupont. Today, Moose, I know you're ready to talk sports. It's a big day. How you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's going to be a big day. So I'm excited. Last night was awesome. And yeah, good morning.
You probably won't want me to say this before we get into the quick 6 show topics, but here's the difference between Moose and I, of which there are many differences, but here's the big one. I said, hey, do you want to go out to Canmore, to our favorite little coffee house this afternoon for a strategic planning session? And that's just a fancy word for coffee, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, but I got to be back. I'm going to this investment seminar later on today. You don't mind me saying that, do you?
Of course not.
And I guilted him for not inviting me, and then he invited me, and I said, this is a lot. I'd rather stick pins in my eyes than go to something like that. But I got invited to go to the Cavalry soccer game on Sunday afternoon. So that's the difference between me and Moose. Moose is like, I don't need to go to every Flames game. Now, I wanted to be at a Junior A game every night, a Dub game every night, NHL, yes. Soccer, CF. You want to do I don't know what that is, the business stuff, which is good.
Yeah, but this isn't the mucky muck business event. This is the entrepreneurs. This is the guys like slugging their way through the mud, just trying to become a muckety muck.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Tell me how it is.
I will. Tomorrow.
Okay, but we are going out to the mountains this afternoon for strategic planning. So watch out, everybody. World domination continues. Can you hit the quick 6 show horn, please, Director Jordan? Thank you. By the way, it's not breaking news, but I got a bell. I went into the Stamps store at McMahon Stadium yesterday, and the young gentleman working there, He said, can I help you? And I said, I heard you have cowbells here. He goes, you heard right.
That's awesome.
And they're always trying to pull my leg out here in Alberta. He goes, we have cowbells and we have bull bells. And the bull bells were bigger.
Oh, really?
And I said, dude. No, but bulls don't wear horns around their neck, bells around their neck. Bulls don't.
No.
Unless you'd like to be the guy to put it around the bull's neck.
I'm good.
Something you might be interested in? So anyways, I have a breaking news cowbell. Thank you, Calgary Stampeders. And don't try and BS a BSer. There is no such thing as a bull bell. Number 1, Nazem Kadri scored at 12:02 of overtime, 12:02, and the Colorado Avalanche beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-2 Wednesday in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final to move within one win of dethroning the 2-time Stanley Cup champion Lightning. Playing for the first time since June 4th, due to a thumb injury, Kadri skated in on Andrei Vasilevsky and slipped a shot under the goalie's right arm to give Colorado a 3-1 series lead. That's what the Canadian press story, that's what the Wire service tells you. Doesn't say anything there about John Cooper, the head coach of the Lightning, almost in tears. He was so upset after the game he couldn't even speak. The post-game reaction was more entertaining than the game itself.
Yeah.
Right? They're talking about this for days, and what John Cooper was so upset about was the Lightning had 6 skaters on the ice for overtime, the winning goal. Not the entire overtime, but just the winning goal. And to be honest with you, man, I've had to watch it 7, 8, 9, 10 times just to count all the players. It did not affect the play, as our dear, close, and personal friend Craig Button has said on TSN Sports Center. It didn't affect the play. But if you're Tampa Bay, you would be very upset about that. But then the Lightning's first goal, Cernik's, early on in the hockey game, like the first minute, I think, Darcy Kemper, the Colorado goalie, has his mask knocked off. And it's very hard to tell, was it knocked off because of a shot that he took, or Cernik clipped him in the head with his stick and knocked his mask off, and then the Lightning score. Either way, that goal shouldn't have counted. So I feel like the hockey gods evened it out. Colorado won 3-2 in overtime and are going home to potentially end it in Game 5. That's our poll question today, everybody, for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Did the Tampa Bay Lightning get screwed over in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Wednesday night? And the last I saw, Moose, on YouTube, very small sample size, but they said, no, the Lightning never got screwed over. But life's a matter of perspective. We can talk about this later. I don't want to belabor this too long, but if you're John Cooper, yeah, you would vote yes. If you're the rest of the world, I feel like you'd vote no. But that's just me.
No, of course. That's the way it is. And, it comes down to, did it affect the game? At the end of the day, that's the part that, really matters. If they had had 5 guys instead of 6, would the goal still have went in? Probably, right? Wouldn't have really changed anything. And yeah, it's a technicality, but that's the way it is. But it's just funny that you see the photos going around social media on the official score sheet of who was on the ice. There's 7, right? I mean, including Darcy Kemper. 7 numbers down there on the official score sheet, but that's the way it goes.
I got to say, I'm not done on that, but Robin watching in Prince Albert says, Rod, you need to have Bo Levi's face on the cowbell. That would be hilarious. How about this? I'm watching one of the sports network shows this morning when I went down to work out here at the Grey Eagle, and I see this commercial for South Point Toyota. And there's my boy Bo, the Stamps quarterback, on there pitching South Point Toyota. And he did a good job. He didn't fumble his lines. SouthPointToyota.com. I can't. He's in my head just like I'm in his head. At what point do we end this?
I know.
It's no small thing. It's no small thing. He's probably the most recognizable player in the Canadian Football League.
I would think so. Now, and you're right.
Doesn't like me.
It is no small thing. Well,
it's not small.
But very curious to see where this is going to
go. Me too. Pardon me. Moving on. We have a live studio audience. How about those Avalanche? Yeah. Yes. See? Live studio audience here at the Great Eagle Stage Bar. Our Stanley Cup coverage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, as well as Rod's Rants, of which we haven't had many of those for some time. I got to rant about something, Moose. I'll think of something.
All right.
As Mark Chestnut said. To schedule maintenance or to learn more about our services, call 306-781-2090 or visit us at broncoplumbing.com. Again, Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Tell Camco guys we were talking about them today. They they sponsor our NHL Stanley Cup coverage. To point two, Jackson Weeb went from role player to the spotlight last night when he scored 3 goals, including the overtime winner as the Edmonton Oil Kings defeated the host St. John Sea Dogs 4-3. We got some Oil Kings fans here. How about that? How about that? And a thrilling Memorial Cup game in St. John. The championship tournament continues tonight in St. John, New Brunswick, with the unbeaten Shawinigan Cataracte playing the winless Hamilton Bulldogs. So let's talk about that for a second. We sat just down here last night at the Stage Bar. Moose had the Memorial Cup game on your phone, and we watched the Stanley Cup game on the big screen here.
Yep.
Oh, Bob's your uncle. Ask me how great life is. And to be honest, I think you were more into the Memorial Cup game than I was.
Yeah. Well, I had started watching it from the beginning and took a little break while we had dinner, but you know, Edmonton got out to the 2-0 lead, and then all of a sudden St. John's, bang, 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 3 goals, and they're in front. I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. This is why the Western Hockey League doesn't win, just, you know, takes the wind out of their sails. But they battled back, tied it, and then in the overtime, what a great goal that was. And there was a fight last night, too.
You don't see many fights at the Memorial Cup.
You don't.
Although there was a doozy. You old-timers help me out. Was Ty Domi and Ken Baumgartner. Would have been 1985.
Wow.
How about that? In the Memorial Cup. But it doesn't happen very often. That was the first win by a Western Hockey League representative since 2016. And I don't know if you saw that I put on Twitter yesterday. You know, I can be a little bit of a fly in the ointment. I just like to create debate. But people get all hot and bothered. I said, don't talk to me about the WHL not winning at the Memorial Cup since 2016. The Regina Pats did it in 2018. They won twice and made it to the final. And people are coming at me, a lot of them my friends, but they're like, oh, Rod, they're the host team. It's easier for them. It's easier for them to win. They're well-rested. And ain't that friggin' easy. They were off for 43 days before the tournament. It's not that easy for them because they're not as good as the other teams. So I think it's at least an even playing field. And clearly, they don't agree with me. That's not. I just like to create debate, but people get all hot and bothered. I agree with you, Les. Everybody's on this. I'm not moving off my point. It's not a drought that goes back to 2016 when the Regina Pats won in 2018. Where are you? Settle the tie.
Doesn't matter now.
Why not?
Because Edmonton won last night. It's over.
That's a very good point.
Right? But yes. You know, when as a Western Hockey League fan, you want to see Western Hockey League teams win, and we saw the Regina Pats win.
It was becoming an irritating trend.
It was just which
is over now.
It became, after the Pats won, it became a stat that they could keep going by technically saying the representative just to create a storyline, right? The Western Hockey League still had teams that won, and it was the Pats.
I don't count it because the Pats won too. So that's where I stand on that. That's what I don't understand. I say these things and, like, literally get lit on fire. But then I see 2 pundits, one of which, well, Craig Button for sure, and I think Darren Dreger said it last night too on SportsCenter regarding the officiating in Game 4. Not a good look on the NHL. I'm like, how come they can say stuff like this?
I'd go through their mentions too. I'm sure they're going to get it in there too.
Who cares what the viewers are saying? I'm talking about Bill Daly or Gary calling them. What do you mean you not a good look on it? You're supposed to promote the NHL. That's your job. That's how those calls go. That's how they go, right?
I've never had one, but yeah.
I've had a few.
That's how they would go.
Our junior hockey coverage brought to you by Cavendish Farms, proud supporters of junior hockey in Canada. It is game day in the Canadian Football League. Thank you, boys. As we kick off Week 3, veteran quarterback Trevor Harris will start tonight when the Montreal Alouettes host the unbeaten Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Als home opener. Incumbent Vernon Adams Jr., who Harris replaced in the first half of last week's 2019 road loss at the Argos, won't play due to a positive COVID test. I can't believe we're still doing that. My guess is VA feels fine, but he tested positive, so he can't play. So Trevor Harris gets the start. Riders have won both of their games this season. The Bet Regal betting line is Saskatchewan favored by 3.5, and I don't think I'm taking that bet. You said you were or you weren't? You go along with 3.5, Riders favored?
Yeah, I'll take that.
You will?
Yeah, I think they
That's fine. At this point, there's no right or wrong answer to that.
That's right.
We'll be watching it tonight, probably, if you get back from your Mucky Muck affair in time. But I don't know. The Owls are a better team than their 0-2 record. They've had some bad luck. They lost here in Calgary by 3 in the last minute. They lost in Toronto on the kicker missing a field goal. And I just think that the Riders have had some trouble. They're missing their veteran center tonight, Dan Clark. Logan Bandy makes his first career start at center on the offensive line. From what we understand, he's nervous going in there. And who wouldn't be? Have I sold you yet on maybe it's not a 3.5 line favored for the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
I don't know. It's a tight line, and I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. But we'll see. Saskatchewan did find a running game last week, which was good to see. They needed that with Morrow, and we'll see if that can continue tonight. But with Dan Clark out, that'll be a big hole.
I feel like Montreal will win it straight up.
Okay.
All the odds at betregal.ca, our exclusive betting partner, and you see Sammy Hagar's wearing the BetRegal hat. He had a late night, so he's got the hat pulled down over his, I don't know if you can see that over my shoulder or not. Point 4, Bo Bichette's second career Grand Slam lifted the Toronto Blue Jays to a 9-5 win over the Chicago White Sox Wednesday to avoid being swept by the host. Alejandro Kirk also homered for the second straight game. Blue Jays have today off. They open a 3-game series with the Brewers in Milwaukee Friday. Point 5, PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan says the PGA Tour is in an arms race it can't win with Live Golf when the weapon is Saudi-funded money. His response is to boost prize money in 8 elite events and rely on his players' loyalty. The new schedule has at least an extra $50 million in prize money. Monahan outlined the new developments as Live announced Brooks Koepka was the latest to sign. Warm-ups brought to you in part by Taco Time. They want you to know they're not tater tots, they're Mexi fries. I still not sold on that, but if they say that's the case, then that's the case.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen tater tots and Mexi fries in the same room together at the same time. Point 6, Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder conducted a shadow investigation that sought to discredit former employees making accusations of workplace sexual harassment, hired private investigators to intimidate witnesses, and used an overseas lawsuit as a pretext to obtain phone records and emails, according to a document released by a House committee Wednesday. I know it sounds boring, but this is no small thing. The Committee on Oversight and Reform is investigating the NFL team's workplace culture following accusations of pervasive sexual harassment by team executives of women employees. It released the memo ahead of a hearing Wednesday in Washington, which featured testimony from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Goodell told the committee that the team's culture has transformed as a result of the probe, and that Dan Snyder has been held accountable. Asked by Republican Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan whether he would remove Dan Snyder as owner, Goodell said, quote, "I don't have the authority to remove him." You know, everybody's mind immediately went to, if you don't, who does?
Yeah.
The answer is an NFL owner can only be removed by a 3/4 majority vote of fellow owners. So I wanted to get that NFL point in there because when we come back, we're going to talk about that and all these things, these quick 6 show topics. There's a lot going on. We're live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Stage Bar. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network. We're also live streaming on YouTube. And we're streaming sports radio 24 hours at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Beautiful day here in southern Alberta. We're at that place, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Have a look, Moose, at the outside coverage. How about that?
Pretty good.
Aerial coverage provided by Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling and Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. And by the way, before we go any further, Roger Yee is watching in Calgary, and he says, "Morning, gents. Going to taco time for lunch. Getting one soft beef and a crisp meat today. Buy one, get one 50% off." You got to love when your viewers are doing your advertising for you. Wouldn't you say, taco time?
Yeah.
For the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one, half off today. Can you eat taco time every day?
Yes.
No, you can. The answer is, the question should be, should you eat taco time every day? I can do it.
Oh, yeah. Burritos, they're so good.
Well, we went down to Chinook Center on Tuesday and got into some tacos there. I get you. I said to Moose, how many tacos do you think you can put away? You're like, 4. And I said, I only did 2 because we were going to the movies.
Yeah. I just did the popcorn at the movie. You did the hot dog at the movies. I sacrificed that for a couple extra tacos.
I'm telling you, man, yeah, I work out here in the gym at the Grey Eagle Stage Bar, or the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, but I'm still on the pink drink, man.
That's just maintenance.
That's just maintenance. Right. I'm still on the pink drink. Ask me about it. DM me. Because I went to the movie theater. I had nibs. I had popcorn. I had peanut M&Ms. I had a hot dog and 2 tacos. And as I said, I could have had a steak at the keg for less than I paid at the concession at Landmark Cinemas. But we enjoyed it. Anyways, what we do if you're just tuning in here on Game Plus Television or live streaming on YouTube is we are the most interactive sports talk show. I would say talk show, period. Most interactive. What you want to talk about, we will talk about here. I know. Mind-blowing. Wilf is watching on Game Plus TV in Steinbach, Manitoba. And he said, John Cooper, was just avoiding a fine. The viewers want to talk about Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final last night. And listen, man, I don't know. I wonder why they put why you shove a mic in front of my face every day, because I'm not like everybody else, whether it be the fans or the media. For instance, at the end of SportsCenter or one of those shows, they're saying, oh, can't wait to hear what John Cooper has to say. Because as he left his news conference last night, he's like, I can't speak. I'm so upset I can't speak. I did love the memes going around that were saying, stop being such a drama queen, John. And as Will said, he was just avoiding a fine. So he's like, I'll have more to say tomorrow. What's he going to say? What would he say?
I don't know what else he'll say today. I really don't.
What would be different?
No, nothing. You'd be a little more articulate, maybe. Well thought out. Less emotional. But I get it. Like, they've won 2, right? In a row. So it's not like you're sitting here trying to win your first cup. But he's trying to do something that just does not happen in hockey now. Win 3 in a row. It's a big deal. And that goal puts him down 3-1 and makes that really tough. He's trying to pull off this amazing feat, put their stamp in history. We've seen, in my lifetime, teams win back-to-back cups. I haven't seen anybody win 3 in a row.
Not in your lifetime.
Not in my lifetime. This is a big deal. And now with too many men, they're down 3-1, and that becomes really now difficult for them to come back. So I get how upset he'd be, because he's really close to being like his name in history.
Yes. So that's what a lot of people want to talk about. We said in Canada they'll be talking about this for days, and I could go on for days. I'm just checking the chat here. People writing in, let's go Oil Kings. You got it. Coffee starts at 10 a.m. Mountain, noon Eastern. We covered all of this earlier. Jennifer from the Four Seasons writes in and says, I missed what's going on with the NFL. And Ted in Red Deer piggybacks that and says Dan Snyder was punished. How? As far as I know, the only thing the NFL did was fire Gruden after the investigation. Dan Snyder was fined, and people help me out here. I read the article this morning, and I can't remember how much it was. Dan Snyder has been fined for the workplace harassment issues, from what I understand. I'm going to call it up here right now from what I read this morning, and I apologize that I can't remember it. But this is a pretty big deal. Like, they had the hearing yesterday in Washington, and did you see the speaker? The lady, she said, Dan Snyder cared so little about this hearing that he's not even here. We invited him to be here, and he has his yacht docked off the coast of, I think she said, Monaco. He didn't even care to be here. This Dan Snyder seems like a real... And
I know.
I'm more focused on what Goodell said. Here it is. Congress alleges shadow probe by Commanders owner Dan Snyder. So he bullied witnesses. He went to discredit the people accusing him. This is all stuff that I see every damn day in sports, because that's what I live in. But you got to tell me that it goes on in business too.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Discrediting his accusers. Okay. This is the kind of guy that we're dealing with. He's a horrible person. The NFL fined the team $10 million last year. That's the punishment that Goodell's talking about. And Snyder stepped away from day-to-day operations after Washington presented their findings to the commissioner. However, the league did not release a written report of Wilkinson's findings, a decision Roger Goodell said was intended to protect the privacy of former employees who spoke to investigators. So basically, it was a fine of $10 million. That's how we punished him. But he's still in the league. And I want to say this, frankly, do you really care? And I don't say this lightly. Are you not going to watch Washington Commanders games because their owner is a loser? I'm sure Jerry Jones is not a real nice guy. But I still cheer for the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It comes down to, it's pretty similar to Live Golf in a sense, right? In the Saudi-funded golf tour. The money's trickling from what they're saying is a bad organization into this golf tour of players we love. And we've, grew up watching, and they're not bad guys.
No, of course not.
They're just they're getting a payday, and you're playing golf, and it's competitive, and the broadcast is good, and everything's great. So in your mind, you just have to be able to separate that. When I watch TV and I watch a game, if I watch the Washington Commanders, I'm not supporting Dan Snyder.
Well, you actually are.
Well,
depends how you look at it.
Inadvertently, for sure, somebody can make that argument. But in my heart, I'm not. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm watching for my own reasons. So you have to have pure reasons. And you can't blame the fans for watching the team that they grew up loving because they're not thinking about that, right? Everybody's a little bit different, and everybody's not thinking the way you are. You know, hypothetically, not you specifically, but, right?
Trust me, I get it.
So I understand that whole question of, do you even care that this is happening?
I was the one that posed that question.
That's what I mean. That's why I said I understand your question that you asked.
Deshaun Watson. What kind of person clearly is this guy?
Yeah.
But did it bother Houston Texans fans? Or does it bother Cleveland Browns fans now? And Deshaun Watson has not been suspended by the National Football League. He still hasn't. I wonder how much the leagues care about how it looks. Look at what Darren Dreger and Craig Button said last night. I said it last segment. This is not a good look on the NHL that the officials are being blasted. Do the leagues really care? They say they care. But I don't think they care. They don't change. You don't think the Cleveland Browns would like a decision at some point?
Sooner than later.
Sooner. The training camp's supposed to open in 5-6 weeks. And they don't know if they're going to have a quarterback. They literally don't know. And I feel like, what's Jimmy Haslam? He's the owner, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the stones to call Goodell in New York. Because you know why, in my opinion? He doesn't want to know the answer.
Sometimes you just don't want to look under the covers, right?
Well, he's literally saying the longer this goes, the better it is for us. No news is good news, which it actually, I don't believe, is the case. But my point is, again, if the NFL really wanted Snyder out, could they not bully him out? This bullying goes on all the time. Let's take a vote. Let's go around the table. There's 31 of us. It's an odd number. So we should be able to reach a consensus here. Do we want Snyder in or out?
Well, they will take a vote, I'm sure. And they need 3/4 of the owners to vote him out. But they're going to think about a lot of things, not just is he a good guy or a bad guy. They're going to say, look, is he somebody who can represent our collective group? Because if you have so many bad owners involved that corporate partners don't want to be involved in, they may not be involved with any team because they're guilty by association. They might only be involved with the league. So the owner's got to look at this smartly and be like, is this going to hurt my business keeping him here? And then, okay, we don't think he's good for business. We want to remove him. Is he good for the league? Is he putting money into the team? Is he keeping the team financially healthy? Is he playing his role? Great. How easy is it to find somebody else with deep enough pockets, with the ability to continue to shovel money in, with the willingness to lose money? Can we replace him easier? So just because we think he's a bad guy and don't want him involved doesn't mean we're going to get rid of him. There's a lot of complex layers.
There's a lot of rich guys out there that want teams.
No,
there's a lot. But there's got to be a reason Dan Snyder is still in the NFL. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, Rod's rant on now. I'm not really ranting about anything, but I just think the fans don't really care about this stuff. And then I mean, with the sponsors, so Dan Snyder's a loser. We've known that for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he's sitting back on his yacht, apparently off the coast of Monaco, going, yeah, I changed the name once. What more do you want? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Well, and the other owners, the last thing I'll say is the other owners, not Jerry specifically, but Jerry Jones, Robert, all the other owners are saying, we got to be careful here too, because if we get rid of him, that opens precedent for somebody to get rid of me if I do something bad.
Yeah.
Right? So they're all looking out for number one at the same time.
That happens.
You'd be surprised.
So to this, Arlen Bruce III. Thank you, Arlen, for watching. CFL great. 2-time Grey Cup champion. Speaking of teams that changed their names, Arlen says, the Pope will have Mass at Commonwealth Stadium. Projects an attendance of 50,000 people. He said that's definitely a way to bless a stadium. All I want to know is, will Chris Jones be there? When is this? Did you see this in the news? I didn't.
I missed it.
The Pope is coming to Edmonton?
That's exciting.
Is Edmonton big enough for Chris Jones and the Pope? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah?
No, I don't know. I'm not answering the question. I don't know. That is the question. Yes, it's the question. When the first time you said that, and this isn't to be disrespectful, but I thought you meant, do you mean Chris Jones is going to bless the stadium and deliver Mass?
Thank you. I'd go to that sermon.
Yeah.
I've been at that sermon. I have worshipped at the altar of Chris Jones. Ted in Red Deer says the NFL kicked out Jerry Richardson of the Panthers for workplace issues. Well, as far as we know, there might have been other things, but I get what you're saying. But Jerry Richardson looks like the Pope compared to Dan Snyder. There's more than meets the eye.
I know.
There always is. Monty's watching in Saskatoon. You know Monty?
Monty?
He says, "Good morning, Rod. You forgot about the Moose." One more. Jennifer says, she says, "I got to watch the replay of the game. I didn't see the whole game 4, but Tampa's first goal was definitely questionable. I thought that as soon as the goalie loses his mask, the play is dead." We got to stop on that because we debated that here last night at the Stage Bar.
Yeah.
We covered this all at the start of the show. Chop, chop. You need to be here at 10 a.m. Mountain. That's when we cover everything. When we come back, Charlie Wright of the Saskatoon Blades, NHL draft prospect, will join us. We've got Matt Kellett coming up in hour 2, veteran CFL kicker. It's a great show, live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Stage Bar. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and of course, you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Calgary, Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders!
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games.
Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You're looking live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Check out the events coming to the event center at GreyEagleResortandCasino.ca. A lot of hockey on the docket. Of course, week 3 in the CFL kicks off tonight. Saskatchewan Roughriders at the Montreal Alouettes. Veteran CFL kicker Matt Kellett will be with us in hour 2 live here at the Grey Eagle. We'll go through all the CFL matters, but what everybody's talking about is Game 4 of the Stanley Cup. Last night, the NHL has announced some dealings around the draft, which will go with round 1 July 7th in Montreal. And joining us to talk about the hockey, the draft, and everything else is Charlie Wright of the Saskatoon Blades. He's an Olds, Alberta product, joining us here in the offseason. And Charlie, thanks for the time, man. If you don't mind, I would assume you watched Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final last night because you're a hockey guy. How did you feel about the outcome, Colorado winning in overtime 3-2?
I didn't quite see the entire game, but I caught the overtime, and from what I could see, it was all Colorado in that period.
Yeah, I think the shots were 10-3, but I got to ask you this. You've been playing hockey your whole life. 6 skaters on the ice. Put yourself in that situation if you were Tampa Bay. How upset would you be? Did you even notice if you saw the goal? I certainly didn't.
Yeah, just it kind of went through the exact same thing this year on my team. Actually, we went down 2 at the away barn, and then came back and ended up winning Game 3, and then lost Game 4. And that's a tough game to lose for sure if you're Tampa Bay.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you went there. I've called your games in the Western Hockey League, you with the Blades, particularly when you were in the bubble in Regina in 2020-21, and then I followed the playoff run, the brief run that it was against Moose Jaw this year. Talk about that if you don't mind. We'll get into your individual performance in a second, but for the Blades, you guys were so banged up against Moose Jaw. Take me through that series and what you recall of it.
Yeah, we had a few bodies out for sure. We struggled at the start. We didn't play our best games in those first 2 games, and then we came back to Saskatoon. I thought we had a good Game 3 and a good Game 4, and just couldn't pull it out in Game 4 in overtime. And it's tough to lose at home, and that's kind of when you get into some trouble. And ended up not being able to win in the away barn again in Game 5.
Well, I was in Moose Jaw for Game 5, and this was the talk going into the game that your star forward, Tristan Robbins from, I think it was Clear Lake, Manitoba, was only going to play on the power play because he wasn't 100% healthy. Tell us now, Charlie, how hurt was Tristan in that series, and how much did that affect what you guys were trying to do?
Yeah, for sure. He's a big guy to have out. We had our captain out too, Delagore-Jondier, our D-man, and those are 2 big guys to have out. And Tristan Robbins, his ankle was pretty beat up and could barely skate, so he battled through what he could, and I respect him even just putting on the skates and getting out there.
Well, Charlie, let's talk about you. 3 seasons in Saskatoon, 40 games as a rookie, 24 games, as I mentioned, in the bubble, which was every single game. And unfortunately, there was no playoffs that year because you guys had a great team. And then 58 games this year, and then the playoff run. Through your career in Saskatoon, what's it been like? And how much of a player have you grown as in those 3 years?
I absolutely love Saskatoon. They've treated me like gold, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I was stoked when they drafted me when I was 14 or 15, and ever since then they've always treated me great, and I feel like I've developed a ton since 16, and I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me.
What is a draft prospect's life like right now in their draft year? I think a lot of fans would like to know that. The draft is coming up, as I said, just in a couple weeks' time. What have you been going through here? There's not much you can do now, but I assume you're talking to teams. What's it been like for you since the season ended?
Right, exactly what you said. The season's over and there's not a whole lot you can do now. So you just kind of have to sit by and wait for that day and see how it turns out. But yeah, for sure, the teams reach out and you get to talk to them and show a bit of character because you don't get to do that on the ice. So you do your best to kind of just show who you are in those moments.
Charlie, who's your favorite NHL team?
Growing up, I always cheered for the Flames. My parents are Flames fans, so I'd have to go with the Calgary Flames for sure.
Okay, good answer. Good answer, especially as we're sitting here at the Grey Eagle, which I know, by the way, you were going to try to make it to the Grey Eagle Resort for this interview, but you had things going on because I know hockey players are busy in the summer, believe it or not. But have you been asked by your friends and family, how many times, who would you like to be drafted by? How many times have you been asked that?
Quite a few times, but the answer is always the same, right? It's a dream just to get drafted growing up playing hockey in Canada, and it's every kid's dream. So no matter who drafts me, I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to celebrate with my family and friends for sure.
Yes, another very good answer, Charlie. You're clearly a very smart kid, been coached well. Have you guys planned what you're going to be doing for the draft that weekend? Are you going to be throwing a party, or what? Have you even thought about it?
No, I actually have a few skates that weekend with an old coach of mine. So just going to go and take my mind off it, honestly. And then if I go, and that night I'll probably go celebrate with some buddies and family. But as of right now, I'll be skating during the draft.
Good for you, Charlie. The viewers want to know, have you watched much of the Memorial Cup? And if so, what are your thoughts on the tournament so far?
I haven't watched a ton. I've watched a little bit. Yesterday I saw Edmonton won, and they lost their game one. But I mean, that was a really hard team to play against this year, and I would be surprised if they don't come back and win it all. I would have my money on them for sure. I'm cheering for Edmonton in the WHL for sure.
Good for you, Charlie. I think for sure we all are. They are a tremendous hockey team. Well, Charlie, it's been great chatting with you. It's a pleasure to watch you play. Good luck July 7th weekend, and hopefully we can do it again after the draft, and we'll talk about that.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on and giving me the time.
You bet. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie Wright of the Saskatoon Blades, speaking from his home in Olds, Alberta. Before we break and get into a Taco Time viewer takeover, a sports update on this Thursday. The Chicago Blackhawks have promoted Megan Hunter to assistant general manager, making her the third woman to currently hold that position and fourth in NHL history. The 41-year-old spent the past 2 seasons as a scout and the director of hockey administration with Chicago. She joins Vancouver's Cami Granato and Emily Castonguay as women currently serving as assistant GMs in the league. Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers have finalized the deal to make him the club's next head coach. Maurice replaces Panthers interim coach Andrew Burnett. Pomo, 4th all-time in games coached in the NHL, 7th all-time in coaching wins. We might have to talk about this next segment, because not everybody in Florida, believe it or not, is excited about this hire. I think they should be, but just talking with some fans, and they love hockey down there. Sometimes I wonder how much they know about hockey down there. But they look at Paul Maurice and they're saying, well, he's never won anything. Well, as I just said, 7th all-time in wins, but 4th all-time in games coached. He's been around a long time, has not won a Stanley Cup, and let's be honest, it's America, where if you ain't first, you're last. Canada's Shayden Sharp is one of the most talked about players heading into this evening's NBA draft. The 19-year-old from London, Ontario is expected to be among the first 10 players selected in the draft, despite not playing a game with his Kentucky Wildcats last season. As many as 4 Canadians could hear their names called tonight. The Raptors traded their first-round pick earlier this year and have just 1 second-round selection at number 33 overall. And Brooke Henderson of Smith Falls, Ontario, was ranked 8th heading into the Women's PGA Championship, which is underway in Bethesda, Maryland. Brooke will be joined by Maud Aimee LeBlanc of Sherbrooke, Quebec, at the 3rd major of the women's golf season. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch. Open Wednesday to Sunday. Also for the Tap Brew House and Drive-Through Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Viewer takeover for Taco Time is next. You're watching the RP Show live from Calgary's entertainment destination, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, on Game Plus Television. YouTube Live, of course, and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Live look in at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. What a gorgeous day here in southern Alberta. It's rocking in here already on a Thursday morning. Good afternoon to our viewers out east. It is a viewer takeover time here for Taco Time. For the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one today at Taco Time. Buy one, get one half off at Taco Time at the over 120 locations across Canada. We got plenty of time here. It's just me. Coming up in hour 2, veteran CFL kicker Matt Kellett will be with us. So what we do here is turn it over to you, the viewers. And so I've opened up the text line, 902-518-3033. The number's on the screen. The most interactive talk show on television and streaming is right here. Rose Henry is watching in St. Albert, Alberta. She says regarding Game 4 of the Stanley Cup last night and John Cooper's comments afterwards, she says there is truly nothing more hypocritical than John Cooper talking about how difficult it is to win in the cap era. LOL. And we all know what they pulled off last year with Nikita Kucherov not playing all regular season due to cap issues and then playing in the playoffs and leading them to a Stanley Cup. I know there's something. I like John Cooper. I'm a really big fan of John Cooper. I've said it many times. My brother graduated from Notre Dame College in the exact same graduating class as John Cooper. 1986. Smart guy. It's a tough time feeling sorry for him. For a variety of reasons. That first goal shouldn't have counted with what they did to Darcy Kemper, Colorado's goalie. The hockey gods got even with him. But I think what a lot of fans think is, well, they've won the last two, so they'll be okay if somebody else wins. No. Go watch Boys in the Bus with Kevin Lowe. The Oilers, as he says, when they won 5 Stanley Cups in 7 years. You think you own it. We're not giving that sucker away. And he does have a right with 6 skaters on the ice to be upset. There's no doubt. But as is in my commentary today, which runs on Cat Country 98 and Rock 98.5 and soon coming to radio in Ontario, life's about perspective. And as long as there's a human element in officiating in any sport, there's going to be mistakes. There was mistakes all over the ice last night. There was mistakes by the Lightning on the winning goal. But he wants to blame the refs because it's easier. Grant Scrimbit is watching in Kelowna, British Columbia. He writes in on the 902 line and he says, good morning, Moose and Rod. It's early in the season. Being a Rider fan, they're looking pretty good. I think Hamilton looks really good too because I believe defense wins championships. What are your opinions on who you think will win the Grey Cup? I understand it's early, just your thoughts. Great question, Grant in Kelowna. And I'll kick that around as much as I can. More with Matt when he joins us next hour, but I was reading the game notes for the game tonight. This is very exciting tonight. Beautiful summer night in Montreal. Percival Molson Stadium, 2-0 Saskatchewan Roughriders at the 0-3 Montreal Alouettes. There are those that feel this could be a Grey Cup preview. I think Tori Gurley, our NFL analyst, predicted this matchup tonight is a Grey Cup meeting. Montreal versus Saskatchewan, so think about that. Riders have won 3 in a row against the Alouettes. Riders haven't started 3-0. Only one time in their 112 seasons have they started 3-0. And it was 2012 and 2013. I was voice of the team. We can get into that next hour if you want. So it's a rare feat that they're looking to pull off tonight, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think Montreal is going to win the football game tonight. We'll get into the reasons why and look at all of Week 3. Last minute of play in Hour 1. Last minute of play in Hour 1. There's some tremendous football games this weekend. Our poll result, last I checked, for Canada's Game of the Week was actually Friday night's game with the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a rematch of the last 2 Grey Cups. And the game that we're going to be at here Saturday in Calgary, the Stampeders and the Elks, is a huge one. And everybody's excited about what's going to go on in Vancouver on Saturday night with the Toronto Argonauts in town against the BC Lions, who are coming off a bye. They're the hottest story. Nathan Rourke leading all the stats categories. The young Canadian quarterback for the BC Lions. So anyways, what do I think? It could very well be a Saskatchewan-Montreal Grey Cup. So what we're looking at tonight is a Grey Cup preview on TSN. We'll talk about it all next hour. You're watching on Game Plus TV and live streaming on YouTube from Grey Eagle.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Calgary, Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders!
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Paul Maurice, the longtime coach of the Winnipeg Jets, is finalizing a 3-year deal to be the head coach of the NHL's Florida Panthers. And I feel like we could spend 2 hours on that. And that kind of came out of nowhere. It leaves Barry Trotz going to the Winnipeg Jets, obviously. And that's another topic for another time. But this is, I talked to Panthers fans this morning, those that know, and they say this thing looks like a really good hire for the Florida Panthers.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans in the USA. Welcome to the RP Show, Hour 2. This one is, we're coming in hot, okay, here into Hour 2. Bear with us. Look who we have back on the stage. Darren Moose DuPont, the entrepreneur, owner, and founder of this program. Hey, Moose?
Yeah.
Listen, there's a reason Moose is here. Matt Kellett, the veteran kicker. And I would run down his resume, but the last time he was on the show, Matt Kellett, the veteran CFL kicker, we realized that Wikipedia was completely wrong. They had the wrong years, the wrong teams, the wrong everything.
Yeah.
So I'll have Matt Kellett explain it all himself. But he runs 3 gym studios here in Calgary, Orange Theory Fitness. And according to producer Clark, he's caught in traffic on his way here. And listen, I didn't just throw you on here because can't do it on my own. I can do it on my own. But yet, off the start of the show, we talked about Paul Maurice getting hired as coach of the Florida Panthers. And trust me, viewers, this is where we really turn it over to the viewers here in Hour 2. And we'll get to the CFL Week 3 kicking off tonight and all the games, but more so with Kellett. You talked to the Florida Panthers. This is my point. They had their news conference this morning at FLA Live Arena with Paul Maurice as the new head coach. I want to interject a little bit of what I'm hearing from Panthers fans and the media. Yesterday, I said the people that I talked to, my close friends down there were excited about Pomo coming to South Florida. But then I've got articles sent to me. I'm seeing social media. They're not as into Paul Maurice as you would think they should be. And you know why? What's he won? He hasn't won anything.
That's what they say. And they talk about
Right.
all these teams he's been on and the success he's had and all the wins he's had, almost 1,000 wins, right? He's getting closer. Only gotten past the third round twice. Only done, been in the playoffs this many years, right? Not a lot of years. So we're starting to see that negativity come out.
Yeah.
And they're what has he won? Why are we continuing to recycle head coaches in the National Hockey League, which seems to be worse than any other league for that? So, yeah, it seemed positive at the time, and now it's turned to negative town.
Well, and that's why these teams need, in my mind, a really good PR department. Even in the broadcast realm, a salesman, a pitch man, to ignite your fan base into why this is a great hire. Because to be honest with you, they don't really know. They don't. And that's kind of an American thing, not a South Florida thing. I said last hour, Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last. It's America. What did he win? I don't see any Stanley Cups on his resume. That's what they're saying. Well, that's what they say about the guy until he's won.
Yeah.
Or she, as sports has become. Because I say this, friend of mine coached in Chicago. I'm not going to name him, the Blackhawks, but he told me no team will ever win with Ed Belfour as their goalie. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he said it, so it must be true. And then when the Stars acquired Eddie Belfour in the 90s, I'm like, oh, dang. That was my team in the 90s because my dad was working for him. But my buddy said they're never going to win with Ed Belfour. No team with Ed Belfour is ever going to win. Well, lo and behold, what happened in 1999? Moose
won the Cup.
So I guess it might not just be Florida Panthers fans that are on Paul Maurice's butt. Maybe the devil at night in the back of his head when he lays down at night says you've never won.
I know. And
maybe it's bothering him too.
Talk about, they say that around, I've heard the narrative around Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, heard it around Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander, that, these guys aren't winners. Steve Yzerman is considered a winner and one of the greatest leaders of all time. He didn't win a Stanley Cup till his 30s. He didn't want to win in his 20s, right? It takes time, right? And sometimes you can be a good player or a good coach or a good manager and have lots of success and not win the ultimate prize. But Pomo hasn't got over that hump yet to win a cup or to,
Well, you can easily see why he wants the job.
Oh, yeah.
Very easily see why he would want it because he wants to win that Stanley Cup. But from the Florida Panthers perspective, and I had the news release sent to me, Bill Zito, their general manager, basically saying after an exhausting analytic search, we've settled on Paul Maurice. The thing is, Barry Trotz can sleep at night because he's won that Stanley Cup. And I think we would all agree that he is the most coveted free agent head coach out there, Trotzy. But basically, my point was the Panthers wanted us at the news conference today.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people would be there. I really wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too. I'm not really sure. I mean, you're not in football season yet.
No.
The basketball team's done. You're only competing with the Marlins right now.
And that's not really competing.
So maybe they would have a full house.
So we'll see if Paul Maurice ends up coming on this show or not. But I thought it was a kick that Darren was doing the dealings with the Panthers. And they're like, well, yeah, we can get Pomo on, but why don't you come to the news conference? We'd have had to get up real early.
Yeah.
From here in the Rocky Mountains to do that. But I certainly appreciate it. The invite. We've been getting treated so well by NHL teams and CFL teams. Robert in Prince Albert says, Moose must have a really busy life. Travels all over the place doing this show, running his media company, and also being Jason Sudeikis' stunt double. Yeah, it's come up again. Did it come up yesterday?
Yes, it did.
Where?
Where did it come up yesterday? In the hotel lobby. Outside the elevator, yeah. And then the guys I was playing with in the golf tournament came up on about the fourth hole, the golf tournament on Monday. So,
of course, that doesn't surprise me at all. Moose is going to a mucky muck, I don't know what it is. And what do you call it? An entrepreneur? A mixer?
Yeah, it's a mixer. It's there's a little entrepreneur competition happening, so they're doing the final pitches and the judging and stuff, and I think there's a little chance to mingle afterwards and stuff, so we'll see.
We're running out to the mountains this afternoon for a strategic planning sesh, but Moose says, I got to be back by 4. I have this event. And I said, well, you didn't invite me to the event. You knew I was being.
I was pulling. You'd want to go.
I don't want to go. I was pulling a John Cooper. I was being a drama queen, and that's when I realized you are not an introvert. You could walk into that thing and not know a soul, and you know what? You'll be Bobby Big Will. You probably have your shirt unbuttoned down to here. I can just see you rolling
Jerry
in there.
Bus style with the meatloaf hanging out.
Yes.
No,
that's you.
You'd be surprised. I'll probably find a seat at the back and look for somebody I know, which I won't know anybody, and I'll have to do the awkward first and meet the first person, and then we'll see where it goes.
See, here's the difference between you and I, of the many. If I had to go to that alone, I would go into the men's room, close the door in the bathroom stall, and jump up on the toilet with my feet up so nobody could see I was there until it was over. Okay, I went. Took a couple selfies in front. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And you love that stuff. You're Jerry Buss.
Not quite. Not quite.
Not quite.
You'll see.
John in Edmonton writes that he says, I wonder if the Hockey Canada scandal will affect upcoming tournaments like the World Juniors. And we have not gotten into the Hockey Canada scandal, and I don't really want to get into the Hockey Canada scandal. I expected to talk CFL with Matt Kellett. Is he here yet, by the way? Can't tell from behind these lights. Here's the thing with Hockey Canada that's being tarred and feathered, because that's in vogue to do that now in today's society. I'm not going to relate it to the Chicago Blackhawks situation. I'll speak specifically about the Hockey Canada. I don't like, and I know you've done far more reading on this than I have, I don't like what's been thrown out at Hockey Canada because they aren't the culprits. The players are, not Hockey Canada. Did they handle it well? Probably not. Could they have handled it better? Absolutely. Who's prepared for something like this? And now you see their funding's been frozen from the government of Canada as a punishment, obviously. And I just think, I've watched the highlights of the hearings, and I just feel that those guys that are running Hockey Canada, and now the women, they're hockey people. They're not lawyers. I feel they did the best that they could. It's the players that should be punished. And the fact that I don't know the extent of what the dealings are with the players. But I like what Scott Smith said, the top dog over there. He goes, if we had swept this under the rug, we wouldn't have been dealing with it every day for the last 4 years. That's not sweeping it under the rug. To be honest with you, am I on Hockey Canada's side? I'm on the side of the victim more than anything, but I'm not ready to drag them through the mud either.
And that's why you settle these things outside of court with a payment and things like that. It's not, it is at times to shut people up, but it's not. It's, do you want to go to court and fight somebody on this? How does that going to look? If I'm fighting you on an allegation, right? I want to admit that we were wrong and make sure you get compensated, right? When that happens, what else are you supposed to do, right? They don't want to, the accused or the accuser doesn't want to, go to court, doesn't want to publicly make a statement, things like that. They want it to go away too, right? I think this freezing of the funds from Hockey Canada comes down to just
from the government.
From the government, just ensures or is just to make sure that Hockey Canada is evolving the process. So you've learned from the mistakes. Now they're evolving the process to make sure that they're, involved with these other organizations. I think that's more what it is, to making sure that they're continuing to grow and acknowledging a need to do that. So I hope that it happens, and I think it'll be fun.
By the way, Matt Kellett is here, so we'll bring him on next segment. I see him just standing off stage left. Is that how they say it in the entertainment business? But the Jason Sudeikis lookalike is here, doing a great job talking about that. And I knew that it was going to come up at some point. Mm-hmm. And you did all the reading on it. You were more prepared for it than me. But I'm sitting here going, Scott Smith and Tom Rennie aren't the culprits here. The players are. And then the other thing is, we work closely with Hockey Canada, and we're going to be working more closely with Hockey Canada. We were just with them at the Centennial Cup.
Yeah.
And I don't like seeing people getting blasted unfairly. Troy in Toronto's watching. He says there can only be one Stanley Cup winner a year. Lots of good players and coaches never win a cup. If getting hired based on championships, there would be many candidates in the league to choose from. Oh, for sure. And by the way, would the Florida Panthers fans be more happy if they hired Mike Babcock because he's got a Stanley Cup on his resume? Right?
Right.
But They didn't hire Mike Babcock, which incidentally, I think what you've heard and what I've heard is correct, and I got a new tidbit yesterday. Babcock will be back with the University of Saskatchewan this year, but in a lesser, more intense role. I don't know how much I should say. He'll still be on the bench every game, but I'm not sure he's going to be there every day. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Turning more of the practices over to his assistant coaches.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But Mike Babcock back with the U of S this year.
The whole idea was to evolve, right? Is for him to come in and evolve the team and create that succession plan. And so step one was he's in charge. Step two is he's in charge, but more responsibility to the successor, right? And then year three, he can let go of the reins completely.
Jeff in Winnipeg says, need to do better in what happened. I'm also siding with the victims. And that is a big, we talk about the Hockey Canada thing here.
Yeah.
People running off with opinions that don't know all the facts, and I don't know all the facts, and you don't know all the facts. Us watching highlights of the proceedings of the hearing on TV doesn't give us all the facts, but this is what I do know. In cases like this, with the victim, it is so incredibly hard to get the victims to come forward. And I've been involved with Hockey Canada in some investigations as well. They do the best that they can. And a lot of times, I'm sorry to say, it's the legal system that lets people down for various reasons. For instance, I've had some victims come to me and say, why did I come forward if this case is just going to be delayed and put off and put over and put over? Why did I even come forward in the first place? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm not blaming lawyers per se. I'm not blaming the government per se or the Crown. These are very tricky situations. And so to just categorically blast Hockey Canada for their role in this without knowing all the facts is pretty irresponsible as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But when you got the Prime Minister talking about it, you know it's a pretty big deal. Did you see him on SportsCenter the other night?
I didn't see him talking about it, but I knew he was. And, yeah, it is a big deal when you got the highest power in government.
Tacona in Winnipeg says, isn't Bab's successor his son?
That's right.
That's what it said in the yearbook, Jim. John in Edmonton goes on to say, I wonder how ticket sales will be for the World Juniors and the tournament because of this scandal. It'll be just fine. It goes back to last hour with the NFL's Washington Commanders. Are you going to stop buying tickets because the owner of the Washington football team's a loser? No, you're not. Did it stop Houston Texans fans from buying tickets to watch Deshaun Watson? Even though we didn't play all of last year. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And nobody's not going to go to the World Juniors because of this. I don't think. It's not stopping us from going there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it will.
By the way, the poll question for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, before we go to break, is did the Lightning get screwed over in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup? The last I saw, 70% of respondents saying, no, they didn't. I voted no. What did you vote?
No.
No, they didn't. So John Cooper's being a DQ, drama queen. And Jeff the Stamps fan regarding the question goes, did Tampa get screwed over? Good luck getting sympathy in this city, i.e. Calgary, after the 2004 Stanley Cup. So anyways, that's a capper on our hockey talk. It's all ball the rest of the way with Matt Kellett. Thanks, Moose.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We're live at the Stage Bar at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination, and you're watching on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, of course, and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Every kitchen is a restaurant. Ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
That's the place to be. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. We're open 24 hours. It's Calgary's entertainment destination. By the way, this summer and fall, how about these shows? The Beach Boys, Nazareth with special guest The Headpins, Dancing Queen, a tribute to ABBA, Terry Fader, the winner of America's Got Talent, comedian Tracy Morgan, Bare Naked Ladies. Go to GreyEagleResortandCasino.ca for the show schedule or to buy tickets. All right. Also, by the way, for Taco Time, for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one half off today at Taco Time. Just got to throw that in there. The last time he was on, this guy, let's bring him in. Very popular guest, Matt Kellett of Orange Theory Fitness, CFL veteran. How you doing,
I'm good.
Matt?
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Listen, what we did discern the last time you were here was that your Wikipedia is way out to lunch.
Well, I don't know if it's way out. Is it?
It's quite a. It said you won a Grey Cup.
I don't know. Well, that's one thing.
How many seasons in the CFL?
8.
8. I think it said
check marks. No.
It's at least 8, and it didn't have your preseason stint with Saskatchewan in there. It might be 9. And the teams were Ottawa, BC, Edmonton for sure, and then Sask, which should be on there, and it's not. Montreal. Has that got him?
That's got him.
Okay. Yeah. And the odd thing is, you settled in Calgary but never played for the Stampeders.
Never. Tried out.
That's the irony of all ironies. Pull that mic right up if you don't mind.
Of course.
Just give it a rip. I think you're strong enough.
Well, don't want to wreck anything there.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're
all
good.
right.
Okay, Matt, let's get going. Let's get right into it. Week 3 kicks off tonight.
Yes.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders at the Montreal Alouettes. And I'm just wondering, we were at the Rocky Mountain Rotary Charity Golf Classic the other day. We had a good CFL chat. Alex Gauthier was there. He says it's too early to make any generalizations on any teams. Who's good, who's bad. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, it's game 3, right? Some teams have played 2, some played 1. Toronto's, played 1 game, I think, right? I think it's way too early. It's a 18-game season. It's lots of things can change. You know, there's teams that make the Grey Cup that don't have a 500 record, right?
That's true.
It's the CFL. So, I think it's way too early.
But I would assume you're a big NFL fan, too?
I don't follow the NFL.
Never have?
Never have. I watch certain players, like I love watching Tom Brady. I would watch John Ryan, those types of things. But
you're fans of players, not teams.
Yeah, I would never sit down and watch a full game. I just don't have the time.
Well, 3 kids and running all these studios. But my point, Matt, is that as fans, you understand, and you're from Saskatchewan, where it's not only the biggest thing, it's the only thing. Mm-hmm. They're 2-0, dude. They think they're going to steamroll Montreal tonight.
Yeah. It's a sleeper, right? That's what they call a sleeper game.
Yeah, some would call it a trap game.
Trap game, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Riders they played well the first 2 games, but they're playing a team that really should have won last week, right?
Lost 2 games by 4 points.
Right. You lose on a 21-yard field goal. And you come all the way back to try to win that game. That's a tough way to lose. Or you can think they're going to be hot. They're probably going to be a little bit, piss and vinegar, come back after the Riders. So, you got to be ready for every game. Anybody can beat anybody.
Well, our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal, has Saskatchewan favored by 3.5. And we play a little fun game here every week called Deal or No Deal. You take the bet. And I said, I'm not taking the bet because I think Montreal is going to win the football game. And so you're kind of taking me in the mindset of the Owls, which I would understand. They're mad. And they have a new quarterback tonight, by the way, and Trevor Harris as well. Mm-hmm. Vernon Adams tested positive for COVID. So Trevor's going to want to put his best foot forward. You spent enough time in Montreal to know this. How would an 0-2 start be going over in that town? Forget about the 2-0 Riders. How about in Montreal?
Yeah, I think there's been a change in Montreal. I think when I played, football was still very, very hot in Montreal with Don Matthews and the whole shebang, right? They were coming off Grey Cup victories, and so it was a different feeling. I think, not that they're in a rebuild in Montreal, but I think football in general in the CFL in Montreal has gone through a little bit of a dip. So I honestly can't give you a feeling on that. I think that, great sport fans are great sports fans, and 0-2 and 0,
right.
That's going to hurt. But I also know that going into Montreal from any other city is a hard road trip, right? There's more distractions in Montreal than probably anywhere else in the CFL. Not that it's a long ways, but it is a 2-hour change. So most teams usually go down a little early, but when you go down a little early, you have more idle time, which then sometimes is counterproductive, right? So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. If I was to bet on that, I would take the Riders.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Riders. I'm a smart man.
Clearly. You see my mind's racing here. You're saying, but you just said it's a tough road trip to make.
It is.
They're the road team.
It is, but they're the better team, right? And typically in sports, the better team wins. Yes, there's always the odd case of the underdog making, but it's week 3. So is the underdog really? That's just my gut. I'm going to go with the Riders.
Guys, why have I lost Matt Kellett on my screen? Okay, the Moose is on it. You should have him in seconds here. The live studio audience.
I got a face for radio.
Yeah, they just took you out.
Face for radio.
Sorry, Matt. Well, and by the way, let's get into it. The CFL fans are alive here watching. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, how will the Riders' offensive line play? And for the sake of our viewership, you're going to... Oh, you didn't have it plugged in? Is that the deal? Yes. Okay. For the sake of our viewership, they can hear Matt. Soon you'll be able to see him. They have a new center. Logan Bandy, formerly the Calgary Dinos, makes his CFL debut starting at center in place of Dan Clark. I know guys that have made their debuts on the offensive line for the Riders in Montreal. It's intimidating. How big of a deal is it, do you think, Matt, that they're starting a rookie center?
Well, the center is the quarterback of the offensive line, right? He's the one who's making all the calls, as much as I know. Those are the guys I usually hung out with in Montreal, because my best friend Scott Flory is one of those guys. He's the one who's calling out plays. He's the one, he's the closely connected to the quarterback. That will be a very interesting. So you should have told me that prior to me making my unofficial bet.
But that makes that big of a difference, is what you're telling me.
It does, yeah. Of course.
Well, not only that, what I love about Calgary, and you know this because you've lived here since what, 90, how long?
99?
Yeah. It's a long time.
This
is a great football town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm talking to football guys all the time, and they're saying, Logan Bandy going against Armando Sewell, first game, good luck. So,
as a center, you get help, right? You have two guards on the other side. They'll probably chip off. They'll double team. They'll do things to help the young guy out as much as possible. But again, our Canadian talent coming from universities here in Calgary or across the country are fantastic, right? I think that we still have that mindset as Canadians that our Canadian kids are, it's a way step down. I think we have proven over the last few years at least that our Canadian content in the NFL, in the CFL is getting higher and higher and higher. And I think we have to you look at the quarterback in BC, who would have thought he would have been the player of the month or the player of the week, right, as a Canadian quarterback in the league. So I think we have to change our mindset a little bit about our youth sports in Canada. I think we have fantastic athletes in all sports, but directly if we're talking football. So we have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's odd, though, Matt, because we've been talking about that for a very long time, and it feels like nothing really changes. And in the case of Nathan Rourke, there's a difference here, though. You talk about a Canadian quarterback. He's not a U Sports athlete.
No.
Right?
No.
He's an NCAA athlete.
That's right.
Is there a breakdown in that?
Well, I mean, you're just getting higher level coaching, right? But again, a lot of our, the youth sport guys, we'll just talk specifically about the youth sport guys. The youth sport guys are being taught and coached by Canadians. They're playing in Canadian schools, and they're still getting drafted in the NFL. There's still guys playing in the NFL. There's still guys being drafted, top 10 in the CFL. People still have this mindset that CFL is a way step down from, NCAA sports. You got to remember that every guy on the CFL team came from a college somewhere in the States, right? So, that the debate of, Nebraska could be a CFL team.
Not
a joke.
Chance. No.
It's a joke. Every guy in that CFL locker room has gone to either a Division I school, Division II, maybe Division III, but there's kids from North Dakota State being drafted in the top 10 in the NFL. Who would ever think North Dakota State? You're thinking Florida State, you're thinking LSU, you're thinking all the big names, right? So you have to look at the individual. I think you have to look at the individual, you have to look at the coaching. I just think that we should be changing our mindset a little bit with our Canadian athletes as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the way I look at it is, Matt, we just need to, as influencers, if that's what we are, promote the game and hope people like what they see.
That's right. Marketing is huge. Right? Marketing of our league and marketing of our players.
Especially when you have a great product.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
There is a great product.
Absolutely.
Now, John in Edmonton, we have a lot of Elks fans, if I may, writing in. And John in Edmonton says, Matt, why are so many Edmonton football fans still not over the name change? You spent enough time in Edmonton to have an opinion on that, I would think.
To me, it's just a name. Honestly,
what about the Eskimo way?
I get it, right? But we just have to let it go. I mean, it's the way of the world. We have to just let it go. It's just a name. The logo is the same, right? The logo on the helmet. I think they've gone back to the double E, haven't
yes, they have. It doesn't look much different.
Yeah. So again, I mean, to me, it's just a name. Now, if we change the rider's name, I think
we would have a problem.
We might have a problem, but.
By the way, I need to interrupt from Enor watching on YouTube. And I apologize for this, but Enor says, thoughts on the Memorial Cup results so far? Two things. One, we covered it way back at the start of the show in the Quick Six Show Topics. That's when we cover everything that's going on, or viewer takeover. But if you've noticed, we're talking football. We've got an 8-year CFL veteran here. It's all ball pretty much the rest of the way today. But thanks for the question. There's a big game here Saturday I need to ask you about, and that is the Edmonton Elks in to take on the Calgary Stampeders. And I was listening to the radio the other day. They were talking about the who's the Twins here?
Philpotts.
Yeah, Philpott.
Yeah.
The one of them close to drawing in to the Stamps rotation starters for Canadians, but they're so good, they've got such great Canadian receivers here, it's going to take a while. Yeah. These Stampeders seem to be rolling out of the gate. I want your take on the Stamps, who are 2-0, but really had a fight to get to 2-0.
Yeah, but again, a win is a win is a win, right? Like, I don't understand why we think, oh, we came back. Oh, they shouldn't have won the game. Well, that's why we play the games, right? We play for 60 minutes. I mean, it's all the old adages. Yeah, I don't know. This one game, and again, I apologize because I haven't really been following too much, but Stamps-esque, those are always just heated rivalry games, right? It's like Flames and Oilers. One could be way better than the other, but when they meet,
it's different.
Everything
That's
equalizes, right? Everything equalizes. Emotions are different. That's a tough game to call. That's a really tough game to call. Just from seeing highlights of the Riders and Elks and the Stampeders, I watched a little bit of that game, but turned it off because they were getting blown out in a classic way. They always come back and win when I turn it off. Yeah, that's a tough one to call. I don't know. What's your call on it?
I think, I got to call up the odds here right now on it, which really don't mean anything. I think you said it very well. When these two teams get together, the line doesn't matter. It's just, if history repeats itself, Matt, which it generally always does, Chris Jones came into Saskatchewan, turned over the entire roster, as you know, and lost 10 of the first 11 games. He's doing the exact same thing up there. If you probably haven't had time to look at the transactions, but he blew out after this past week's game Martese Jackson, veteran returner, Justin Renfro, veteran offensive lineman. Like, he's just swapping players like crazy. And I would have thought he'd have learned in Saskatchewan, because it did eventually turn around, but it didn't turn around fast. So my point is that here this weekend, I think Calgary's gonna speedboat them, whatever they say. That's what I think. And there's still heat on Bo. There's still heat on Bo. There's always heat on Bo. Why is there so much heat on him this time?
You're asking that question? I had to actually click the reel and watch the whole clip about you guys talking about Bo at the golf tournament the other day. I thought that was quite hilarious. But no, I think that Chris Jones, again, where did Chris learn the CFL from? Who did he learn it from?
Your boy.
Don. What did Don do? If Don didn't like something, DOD, dinner on Delta. It was the comment in the locker room, right? So dinner on Delta for a lot of those guys, and he'll get guys that come in that want to play for him and his way. Chris Jones will turn that place around. I can almost guarantee it.
But just how long?
But how long? But that's sports, right? Yeah. Again, at least you have a full season this year. I wouldn't count him out.
I think he has a 4-year contract up there, and I hope for his sake he lives to see the end of it. Right? Yeah. By the way, it's Calgary favored by 8.5 Saturday over the Edmonton Elks, and I think I would take that.
You would take it?
I think I would. We'll be back with more with Matt Kellett answering your questions. That's always a lot of fun. It's a good CFL discussion today as Week 3 kicks off tonight with Sask at Montreal. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Alberta, here they come. Welcome your Bull Riders.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We're live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. The event center is always humming. There you go. ABBA, a tribute to ABBA, Dancing Queen, coming August 13th. Bare Naked Ladies, August 20th. You can get tickets at Ticketmaster.ca or GreyEagleResortandCasino.ca. Matt Kellett's with us. 8 seasons in the CFL, Ottawa, BC, Edmonton, Sask, and Montreal. I had to throw the Riders in there, Matt. You understand?
Of course.
And I know you don't have a problem with that.
No.
Voted the game of the week in the CFL by you viewers this Friday night. Hamilton at Winnipeg. The Bombers are favored by 4.5 in that one. And the one game we haven't talked about is Toronto at BC Saturday night, where it's all $5 concessions for Lions fans, and the Lions are favored by 5. Is it too easy for me, Matt? Like I just want to ask you the kicking questions. Is that a disservice to you?
No.
You can talk about everything? You'd prefer to talk about everything?
I don't mind talking about everything.
Okay, good. But I'm going to ask you kicking questions.
Sure.
Anyways, the miss with 11 seconds to go in the Argo game in Montreal. You said what did you say, Toronto shouldn't be 1-0? Was it you that said that?
Well, again, I think that you play the game, right? So, yeah, they should have won it. They won it.
What happens on a 21-yard field goal? Like we had Jeff Reinbold on Friday. He goes, he just chunked it. There was nothing to talk about misalignment, mishandled snap.
It's funny he said that because when I watched him line up and I thought, close to left post. And if you turn your hips the wrong way, you're going to miss. And so it was interesting because it's interesting that Jeff said that because when I watched him line up, I was going left, and thinking miss.
But you would know based on what?
It's you're trying to direct a ball as opposed because he was 4 for 4 going into that. 4 for 4, right? And long range. Sometimes the short ones are a little bit, like I know myself, early in my career, my short ones were way harder than my long ones because the long ones, you just hit them. You have to hit them hard. But until you get into a mindset of actually being able to trust your stroke, and very similar to golf and putting and all that kind of stuff, you start to aim as opposed to just hit the ball. And you could kind of tell his cadence was a little bit different than his other ones. And like I said, when I watched him line up, it looked like he was still a little bit square and not angled off to right post where most of us would aim for.
That's why I love having the players on, because of analysis like that. Now, Enor, who asked about the Memorial Cup, has changed his tune and wants to talk football now. Says, Matt, How has the game changed in the last 15 years or so? And do you agree with these changes? What was your last season?
2006.
Yeah, so almost
Long
right
time
on.
ago.
15, 16 years. So what's changed in that time?
I think, I mean, again, I haven't been dialed into the CFL a lot yet. I typically, as the fall goes on, that's when I start to watch. But I think correct me if I'm wrong, hash marks are
8 yards narrower.
Yeah. So for me as a kicker, and I'll just talk about kickers, is that now most kicks are essentially straight. Essentially, they're straight, right? Like it should make things easier. That part. But then again, you've got the extra points way back further than when I played, right? It was still the 17-yard
end zone.
It's nonsense, right? So that was a really good rule change because it puts emphasis on that extra point. And now what's the extra point? The extra point's 30-ish yards? 32 yards? Yeah. It's not a gimme, obviously, as we see. Players don't go out to make mistakes, right? That's the one thing. Like this guy and pardon me, I don't remember his name, the kicker, Cote, I think his name was.
David Cote.
Yeah, he doesn't go out to purposely miss that. He's not being malicious. Human, right? It's a human error.
Ted and Red Deer, does Matt have coaching clinics or is he involved with football kickers?
You know what? I used to run camps when I was at U of S. I know that I've been asked to help out here in the city off and on. I've helped kids virtually, just dads will send tape and then I'll just kind of critique it a little bit. So I helped a kid out from Regina prior to COVID, so 2 years ago. Little bits here and there. I mean, that's what I love to do. I love coaching, right? Like I didn't have the greatest CFL career. I think my career kind of it was ups and downs like most, but I'm known for the down more than the up. But I love to coach young kids because I think that's, just watching this David Cote guy when he lined up, I just kind of knew left, right?
Well, you've known me a long time. People say, why are you a recovery coach? Well, don't do what I did. That makes some of us the best coaches.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's crazy that way. But it's funny you talk about the distance. Paul McCallum, hats off, going into the Hall of Fame this week.
Congratulations, yeah.
He said that those uprights from 45 yards out look like a postage stamp. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't think people understand that.
No. Yeah, and that was one of the things where when I started to talk to a sports psychologist, he asked me about my pre-kick routine, and I was like, well, I just
don't have one.
Just go out and kick, because I was just relying on my natural ability from junior and from university days. And what he told me to do was come in from way further than where the placement was going to be and start to walk towards the uprights. And so visually, the uprights would get larger. So in your mind, they are getting larger. And so that's the part of the game where I wish, 15 years ago, I wish I would have had the sports psychologist prior to my junior days, right? Because you're relying on physical ability, but it's like golf. There's so much mental part to it. We all have the physical abilities. There's a reason why you're in the league, but it's the great players are the ones that have the great mind as well, the great psychology part of their game down pat. And so that's why even now when I coach my little kids in hockey, it's mindset. Trust the process. Don't worry about result. All those types of things. Because those are the things that will take you on further in life.
So the viewer asked what's changed in the last 15 years. On the field, not a lot, some tweaking, but off the field, a ton. Sports psychologist is a great example of that. And then also the training.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's very sports specific, position specific. I mean, it was starting to come in, maybe late into my junior years in the late mid 90s, I guess. When I got to U of S, we worked out, but we didn't have the workout. Like our gym at U of S got condemned. We got moved to a local gym in the basement, and the athletes either went or they didn't go. We didn't have programs set out for us. We didn't have a weight room like the U of S does now. So things evolve, and it's a good thing. I mean, you're only going to get better athletes.
For sure. And I don't know specifically who your head coaches were. I'd have to go look it up. You talked a lot about Don today and the last time, or specifically who your position coaches were. But the ones I've been around, I don't want to name Cal Murphy being one that we had in Saskatchewan. People forget that. He was there when you were there.
That's right.
And I won't go into the special teams coordinators, but they were like, just get in there and kick.
Yep.
These guys hadn't been kickers. We had a game in BC where the game was on the line late, and he threw McCallum in there, Cal, to kick like a 65-yard field goal at the end of the game, and Paul was like, you don't have a chance,
right?
But especially in here.
Yeah,
right.
Dead air.
Yeah,
dead air in that place.
Fairbrother was on the offensive line. You know Benny, and we talk about it all the time. Cal literally said, get in there and kick it. And Paul's like, I have no chance of making this field goal, especially in here. Like, Lou Pasaglia to have the career he did, ungodly when you think about it.
Right? I mean, in the dead air, in the old BC, you'd look up at those flags, and it would be like a flag on the moon. They would just sit there.
Right.
And you would think inside a dome, you'd think the ball would go further. In Toronto, for sure, the ball flies in the Sky Dome. But in BC, complete opposite. Like a 50-yard field goal in BC Place, you're probably equivalent to a 57-ish yard field goal anywhere else. It's amazing, and people just don't understand, right? But yeah, getting to that point, I mean, you'd have coaches that would ask, can you make this in, what are you going to say, no? Right? Like, you have to have that good line of communication prior to a game. And that's where, again, I always say Don, but Don was very good at that. I mean, he was a special team coach prior to being a head coach. So he understood that part of the game and how important it was. It's actually 1/3 of the game in the CFL. And so it's super important. And you had to, he would, in warm-ups, watch both ways. We'd have to kick both ways. He would watch, we would talk, and then he knew. There was no more asking in the game. He just knew. He knew that this was your range. If it was a game winner, you gave him a little bit of a stretch, but that was it. And if it was in the range, it was in the range. If it wasn't, it wasn't.
That's why he retired as the winningest coach in CFL history. Matt, it's always great when you come down. Thanks,
Appreciate
Matt.
it. Thank you so
Let's
much.
do it again.
Of course, anytime.
Matt Kellett, veteran CFL kicker and Orange Theory Fitness owner and operator here in Calgary. We'll be back with the Moose. One final segment of the week, viewer takeover for Taco Time. You're watching live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and you can always catch the podcast wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Every kitchen is a restaurant-ish. With Cavendish Farms restaurant-style fries.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Okay, we're ready to rock. Thank you. Thanks, Moose. Let's bring him in. We got him. The Moose is loose. Thanks. We're just lining things up with Matt Kellett. Man.
I get it.
Stuff's going down.
Yeah.
So this, I don't blame the viewers today, Moose. We were all over the place.
Okay.
This is more than normal.
Yeah.
And in hour 2, they wanted to talk about the Memorial Cup, the Memmer, and a lot of John Cooper stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but we can't. We got Matt Kellett here, 8-year CFL veteran. And the chat was so great. You were sitting down here with the live studio audience. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to get into what they wanted to talk about more here.
Sure.
Terry Livermore of Calgary writes in. He says, I watched a bit live from the Grey Eagle this morning, gents. Welcome back. Great show. Thank you, Terry. This is one of the biggest live audiences we've had here so far.
It's been pretty great today. Yeah, it's starting to fill up. And how
about that?
It's good to have that instant feedback from the crowd.
From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. Riders rule. It's interesting. Week 3 kicks off tonight. So Kellett picks the Riders to win, and then I tell him that they have a rookie center starting Logan Bandy. He's like, whoa, that changes my pick. Really shows you the importance of betting and how you want all the info.
You want all the info, and it's interesting for the casual football fan. So they'll just plug somebody else in there. No big deal, right? They'll plug somebody else in there, some other big guy in the middle. As long as he can snap the ball, Riders will be fine. He's not throwing the ball, catching the ball, running the ball. But the football guys know how crucial that is to the outcome of the game.
Oh, yeah. Cynthia's watching in Pittsburgh. She writes in, she says, I am thoroughly enjoying this talk with Matt. He is quite an inspirational person. He absolutely is. From JT on YouTube, Matt Kellett, an awesome interview. Very insightful. And it's interesting, man. I mean, you were down here, but we had a sponsor here, right? I don't know if you heard him say with the Argos game last week when the kicker missed from Montreal. Matt said he's watching it live going, he's not lined up right. How many people would know that?
Not many. Very few. Yeah. It's a catch that most CFL fans, the casual observers, they're not going to make that. They're not going to spot that on the field. But
that's why it's so... I believe, I mean, I love those shows like The Reporters, and we talk about PTI all the time, and I like that show. But it's a couple of reporters that have never been on the field of battle. And for me, I never played football and just enough hockey to be dangerous. But those guys, those reporters aren't going to pick up what Matt picked up, or Troy Aikman doing color on Fox. He was interviewing Tom Brady, and he goes, no, Tom, I noticed that you're lining up on the center's left leg out of shotgun. Why are you doing that? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, would you have noticed that?
Right. No.
We would never. That's why I think you got to have players in the booth, and that's why I think you got to have enough players on shows like this.
Yeah.
Rather than just have some guys sitting around that don't know what they're talking about. And frankly, that drives me nuts because you see that. It's probably happening more than ever. People that don't know what they're talking about that are on the air. In sports.
I don't
watch a lot of news.
For sure it is. Of course it's happening, like crazy. And, guys and girls who play just a little bit of sports, who didn't play long enough or at the pro level to really know. It's tough, but it's good to have both perspectives, but it's definitely important to have the players who were there.
You can see that I'm getting revved. We need another hour, Moose, because Enor writes in and says, a great interview, Rod. Interesting to get some insight on the importance of mindset in sports from Matt. The importance of it, it's everything. When we used to laugh and say half the game is 90% mental, I think it was Yogi Berra said that. It's all. Your boy Jerry Buss.
Yeah.
The guy that believed he could run a mile in 4 minutes, sub 4 minutes, because he thought that he could.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's life. It's everything. Everything's right here. Leighton Vernon.
It's Tom Cruise, man. Said he was going to do the lap in 3 minutes. He set the timer to 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
It wasn't Tom Cruise. It was Maverick.
Sorry.
Leighton Burton writes in, says, can you explain why the Lightning goal was allowed when the goalie lost his mask? Over to you, because you were on it.
Yeah, it's not the rule's not to blow it dead, unfortunately. So the play continues. They weren't supposed to blow it dead. They didn't, and the puck's in the net.
That's simple.
Yeah, it is simple. It's unfortunate, but that's more of a minor hockey thing that the whistle blows as soon as the goaltender loses their mask, but not in the NHL.
Wild. Robin in Prince Albert says social media has made everyone an expert now. That's why we are seeing more athletes on panels. Is it? I'm not sure I agree with that. Andrew Stout, Quebecer, watching, says, should be a great party and atmosphere at the Als versus Riders game, but I think that people in Montreal are more interested in the upcoming NHL draft, not the Als game. Montreal's a hockey city. Yeah, their loss. Last minute of play in the RP show. Well, the thing is, I just want to be a fan. I want to sit and watch the game on TV like what I did with you.
Yeah.
Or Saturday we go to McMahon and watch. I don't want to analyze. You know, that's what we have refs for. And that's what we have coaches for. For the viewers that are like, what concerns you about the Bombers and the Riders, even though they're unbeaten? Nothing. They haven't lost yet. I'm not a coach, not a referee. And the thing is, when you leave it in the ref's hands, this is what I don't like. They will manipulate the rules, the reading of it, in my opinion, to cover their own ass. That's what I think.
They have
and we
to
would probably all
rules.
We'd probably all do the same thing.
Yeah.
If we were them. That's going to be fun. Tomorrow, Football Friday. Mike Abel-Meshrick and Jeff Reinbold. See you in the mountains, Moose.
You bet.
See you noon Eastern here on Game Plus TV.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Approved.